The owners' meeting has started, and Mike McDaniel has sat down and talked and chatted about a plethora of things, from Zach Wilson to Tyreek Hill. Yes, we're still dealing with some drama in that aspect. Calais Campbell to Teron Armstead. Will they come back? And unfortunately, Liam Eichenberg. So we're going to talk about all of that and more in this video. What is up, Finn fans? A lot to talk about today. Two things I need to talk about real quick. First and foremost, you see right here, this video is sponsored by Clean the World. Sean Seipler, a very, one more time, very good friend of mine, has this foundation that he has put together to help people of need, which is a beautiful thing that he has done. He takes soap. You go to hotels, you use the soap, you're like, I don't need all the soap. Well, he's like, hey, I will take that, I'll clean it, I'll repurpose it. I got scientists, we'll do all their things, shit-a-bang. I will put kits together. To give it to people of need, third world countries, natural disasters, the homeless. He has worked with hundreds of hotels, has given it to millions of people, been doing it for 16 years. He also has the Wash Foundation, which also gives water, clean drinking water, to people that also need that. So go check it out, cleantheworld.org. Shout out to my man. Other thing, big news, this Friday, 7 p.m., me and a certain somebody, I've been teasing the crap out of this, named Reason, aka Finside the NFL, we have come together and we are working on something. And this Friday at 7 o'clock here on this channel, we will be debuting it. So we will be live this Friday, 7 o'clock. Friday the 4th, 7 o'clock, we will be live on this channel to debut something we've been working on. It is going to be fantastic. It'll be on my channel, then his channel, a little back and forth until we get our own channel made, and then we'll build it from there. So if you're interested to see what me and Reason, aka Finside the NFL, is working on, come hang out Friday, 7 p.m. for an hour. So let's jump into this mamma jam. Some big news. Will the Dolphins take a part of this big news? I don't know, but this is interesting. The NFL is updating its uniform policy to allow teams to wear throwbacks or alternate uniforms up to 4 times per season. Now, I think it was 2. And the Dolphins did do it twice. They did it against Buffalo, week 2, and they did it against Green Bay. And we kind of have lost our mojo when it comes to the throwbacks because we lost both games. But now you have 4 opportunities to wear the throwbacks. So you can see in the image, you have Seattle. If it wasn't the Miami Dolphins throwbacks, which is hands down my favorite of all time, those Seattle throwbacks, my second favorite. I absolutely love them. But you see Seattle, Denver, and the Kelly Green of Philly. Hey, Miami, here's your opportunity, man. You can make so much money. That's the thing that I don't understand, right? I understand they put a lot of money, a lot of, equity and stuff into that logo and that logo. I get it. We don't like that logo. If you came back and made the throwbacks a full-time uniform, you know how many jerseys you'll sell? You know how much merch you'll sell? Because it's not going to have the logo on it that we don't like. You're going to have the logo on it that we do like. Everything. Your merch sales will skyrocket. Will they do it? Probably not. But I'm just saying. Come on, Miami. So that's the one thing. Now let's get into Mike McDaniel and some of the things he had to say today. So, talking about Tyreek Hill. If you don't know, Tyreek Hill has gone off on a little bit of a tangent, doing his normal tweets. Let me just show you this real quick. Throwing up the peace sign, and then probably Tyreek Hill gets traded, throwing up the peace sign. Then Fins Nation, who would be open to trading Tyreek Hill? He has a smiley face. But then he also has come out and said some other things, like rebuttaling it, essentially being like, stop putting words in my mouth, yada, yada. So they asked Mike McDaniel, and he said Tyreek knows for whatever antics, he's known for whatever antics on social media. He said he's confident in something. If something really needed to be communicated, he would hear it from Tyreek. Tyreek recent apparent peace outs in the building. Tyreek has been in the building. Tyreek is known for some antics. They were asked him, will Tyreek Hill certainly be on the roster in 2025? And this is what he said. I could say with certainty at this certain moment, we are fully planning to move forward. He also said anything could happen in the NFL, which you don't. He is leaving that door open. He says, but noted things happen in the NFL. So he's like, look, he's on there. Don't worry about it. Hey, sweetheart, don't worry about it. Crack the door open. But never say never. They asked him, do you know what team you will be playing in Madrid? He said, not yet. And the schedule will be probably coming out May. I think they do it like the weekend after or 2 weekends after the draft. Obviously, I'll be making a video about that. We'll look at it, yada, yada, blah, blah, blah. But yeah. McDaniel, Antoine Armstead, and Calais Campbell. I've got great communications with both. Calais is a unique situation where he's assessing multiple options. Again, I have talked about this. He has the Miami Dolphins who have supposedly offered him a contract. He has retirement, and he has the Baltimore Ravens. Those, from what I know, my understanding, are the three options. Bing, bong, boop. Talks about Zach Wilson. He said he is a phenomenal talent with a need for time for development, he says. Feels his time with the Jets is behind him. I asked him why the move wasn't for more experienced veteran backup. David Fiorenes, thank you for asking that question. McDaniel called Wilson a direct, calculated target for the team in free agency. So David Fiorenes asked a very good question. Hey, why not a more experienced backup? And McDaniel said, Wilson's a direct, calculated target for the team. No answer. McDaniel, Dolphins coach McDaniel, I want to be on the same hot seat that Nick Sirianni was on last year. He adds that he feels support from owner Stephen Ross. McDaniel adds that he is not entitled to his position as a head coach. His expectation is to be the best person for the job. I think everyone and their mother knows if this goes belly up, and by mid-season, by the Madrid trip, because apparently the Madrid trip is going to be in November, which means our bye week will probably be after that, hopefully in November. But if things go belly up, and if you don't know what that means, when a fish dies, it goes belly up, he probably won't make this end of the season. I think I have some bets, and I never bet money. I have friendly bets and wagers, like, hey, if you're right, I'll come on here and say you're the smartest man on face of the earth. But I have some friendly wagers with a bunch of people for a few things, and one of them is that if they start 2-6, or if they start horribly, that they're going to get fired. Don't be surprised. Do not be surprised. Asked about this job security. This is from Cameron Wolf. I want to be on the hot seat. McDaniel said, if you're not feeling heat on your seat, you don't have any urgency. Because does Andy Reid feel any heat on his seat? Does Sirianni feel any heat on his seat? Does Harbaugh feel any heat on his seat? Like, I can raffle off names of coaches that McVay, I feel like McVay should feel some heat, because how many times are you going to keep getting there and not getting to the Super Bowl? But I guess I can see where he's coming from. McDaniel said, like the case with defensive tackle, there are some corner options out there for Miami. Should need not be filled in the draft, presumably. Said there will be quarterback competition. So it seems like, and this seems like a thing with all NFL teams, the Miami Dolphins are now focused on the draft, right? They have pro days, and they now are allowed to invite these prospects to the organization to kind of meet with them. And I think they're already meeting with the defensive tackle. I'll tell you who that is in a second. So it seems like their focus is shift, right? Tehran knows what the situation is. Hey, you want to come back or not? Blah blah blah. Same thing with Calais, and I think the Dolphins are now kind of honed in on, hey, draft, 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 draft. Just like me, today is April 1st. I don't do April Fools. I have built a trust with you. I will not break that trust with some funny April Fools antics coming on here and saying like, "Ooh," and then losing your trust. I will never do that. But today is April 1st, and for me, the draft is on the 24th, so we have 23 days into the draft. I'm draft. That's where my mentality is at right now. Talking about someone coming in for a visit, defensive tackle Kyton Hamilton is coming in for a 30 visit, so you get 30 prospects. He ran a 1.7 10-yard split, 300-pound at the pro day. Would have been the third best among defensive tackles. 4 sacks in 2024. He played at Rutgers. Rutgers is literally down the road from where I live, which is very interesting. But let's talk about some other things real quick. This one I found very, very interesting when it comes to us, fans. And I will touch upon this a little bit more, too. McDaniel listens and cares. This is from Joe Shad. He says he spent extra time speaking with the media because he thought about what it would be like if he had a job in the media. Do you consider me a job in the media? I don't. Ignore me pointing my stupid thumbs at myself. McDaniel said he anticipates feelings from the fans because he's been one. Denver Broncos. He was their ball boy. He says he recently listened to a guy at the car wash emphasize short yardage improvement needs, and he said he's right. Well, let's talk a little bit more about that because he addresses the whole Liam Eichenberg situation. And so, Miami Dolphins coach provided some much-needed clarity about a few of the offensive line signings. Liam Eichenberg and James Daniel created a huge buzz among Dolphin fans when their respective signings were announced. The reaction, however, were polar opposites as Eichenberg return generated vitriol while Daniels was praised. Yeah. You ain't wrong, Isaiah Smalls. You ain't wrong. I expect feelings from fans, McDaniel said. Loss or failure, if you care, you assess blame somewhere. As for Eichenberg, the re-signing likely had something to do with his personal versatility. He has experience at tackle guard and center. Yet even McDaniel said the 4-year veteran needs to improve. This is where we will assess what he says, and I will tell you my feelings on it. He says he really did some things for the offensive line unit that few players would do in terms of sacrifice position switch. Liam Eichenberg is well aware that through the different avenues of remaining free agents and draft, that if Liam Eichenberg is starting next year, he's going to have to be the best player he's ever been. Daniel's signing, however, was a perfect match between player need and team need. I feel super fortunate, super fired up to get him because I know by experience is the value of having a free agent with something to prove. Again, James Daniels is coming off a big injury, and he has something to prove, and we need that. It's a win-win, especially with the contract. He comes out and he balls out, fantastic. It's a lower range contract, but if he balls out, we still have him on the books for a while. No guaranteed money locked up to him. We see opportunity right in front of us to improve, McDaniel says, explaining that they want to create more competition at a higher level to bring out the best in each player. I think Liam is very comfortable with the fact that he'll really have a chore and that he's going to have to be his very best. It was going to take a real strong reason to sign a free agent that was coming off an injury, talking about James Daniels, calling him a natural fit due to his familiarity with the scheme and his hunger due to being a bit overlooked because of the injury. Again, it really did pan out there. So, from what I'm getting, when it comes to Tyreek Hill, this is what I'm getting from what Mike McDaniel had to say today. With Calais Campbell and Teron Armstead, it's still up in the air, but the Dolphins are probably operating as if they're not coming back, which it is what it is. You know, I'd love Calais Campbell to come back, but let's not sit here and think that he's, we got lucky with the way he played last year. And again, I'm gonna lower my expectations because again, you get hurt when you have it too high. So to think he's gonna come back and instantly fix our problem at D line is not a thing, because with him and Sealer, we still were 27th in the NFL in sacks. So he's helped. Don't get me wrong, but to put the future of the franchise or put everything in one basket, being Calais Campbell, just doesn't make any logistic sense. So there's that. Teron Armstead, if he comes back, he comes back. Will they cut him? I don't know, but we have Patrick Ball here. Tyreek Hill. From what I'm getting from Mike McDaniel, he's just messing with people at this point because it gets a rise out of the people, and he'll keep doing it because he'll get a rise out of you. But if the Dolphins get some type of offer that it's like, oh, they're going to trade him. Now, money-wise, I don't know how that would work. I don't know what they would do because, again, you're not saving any money by trading him before June 1st. So, again, there's that post-June 1st type situation. But if a team offers a first, a starting left guard, like a high-caliber left guard, a starting corner, Jair Alexander, with some cap added to it, split the dead cap. You throw names out there, it might happen. Logistics. With Tyreek Hill and that trade, it's all about logistics, and it's about what they would get. If it's anything like, oh, we'll give you a third. No. It have to blow the Dolphins away to trade Tyreek Hill. So I don't see that happening. And again, Mike McDaniel doesn't, but that's why he said never say never, because if they do get an offer that's crazy good, because a team that needs a wide receiver missed out on one, never say never. Liam Eichenberg's situation worries the crap out of me, and I had a feeling this was going to happen. And I got a lot of this on Twitter where it's like, he's just a backup. Why are you overreacting? Blah, blah, blah. It's the same thing I got last year, and then I end up being right when I didn't want to about the offensive line. The fact that he's talking about competition, the fact that he's talking about the best version of him, the fact that he's talking about all this stuff, he was in a competition last year. He did not win. Jack Driscoll was the better offensive lineman, and he played better at center in the time he was in preseason, if you guys remember. They cut Jack Driscoll, and they started Liam Eichenberg at right guard. Isaiah Wynn was the left guard. Isaiah Wynn wasn't ready to go, so they put Robert Jones there. Regardless if Isaiah Wynn was healthy or not, Liam Eichenberg was going to be your right guard. He beat out Jack Driscoll because they cut him. I don't know what they saw, but that's what they did. So if there is a competition for that left guard spot, it worries the crap out of me. Because, again, I said this on Twitter, watch him start week 1. And people are like, why would you think that? Blah, 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 blah. That's all I'm saying. But apparently he hears the fans, he understands, and he's playing for his job, talking about Sirianni. Because the Eagles head coach was kind of in a tough situation. My phone just chimed because his name sounds like something that I say to get my phone's attention. Then he won the Super Bowl. So, hey, Mike, I'll say this. This is probably going to be the last thing I say. If you, all of a sudden, your butt being on the hot seat, you and Chris Greer finally, just sitting on hot red embers right now. For some reason, it just clicks in your brains. And you just you draft crazy good. Then you pick up the crazy good free agents that are left afterwards. And then you go into training camp and you don't make it into a resort where the vets don't practice. And then you just build. And we make it to the AFC Championship game. It's not going to happen. Oh my God, I'm wrong. I will shave my head. I will crew cut myself. Obviously, I'm not going down the skin. I will give myself a crew cut. Prove us wrong, Mike Greer. Mike McDaniel doesn't necessarily need to prove me wrong, because I think Mike McDaniel has the talent. I think he needs to get out of his own way, and I think he needs to do better at adjustments. Greer needs to prove me wrong. I am long gone with Greer. I don't give a crap. Greer, you can. Mike has shown things. I like some of his concepts, some of his drawn up plays, some of this, some of that. But he's still a young coach, so we'll see. Comment below. Let me know what you guys think. I'm very interested on your takes on McDaniel. I'm very interested on your takes on the jerseys. I'm very interested in hopefully see you guys Friday at 7 o'clock. What are your thoughts on me and Reason partnering together and starting something crazy good? Comment below. Let me know what you guys think, and I will see you in the next one. Happy April 1st. Again, I don't do April Fools because it's not fun. But like usual, stay classy. If it's up.